about this every day, probably, for the past year. When I wrote this record, I actually thought it was going to take it into maybe my second record, if it was ever going to happen. Well, some of the things that surprised me would be the Grammy nominations. I didn't know that was going to happen. The Grammys for me they are a certification of quality. If you get a nomination, a Grammy nomination, it feels like you've made a piece of work that is timeless. I am the type of person, genuinely from my heart, you know, if I got one nomination, I would still be ecstatic. So every time it was more than one, it was just an added bonus. The fact that I have six is crazy. The music that I've made in my life for people, for other people, is the music that hasn't done very well. It's the music that I've made solely for me, is the stuff that has worked. But yeah, when I was writing this record, actually, I wanted to make a record that everyone was going to sing as well. You know, I wasn't necessarily bothered about it being cool. I didn't want it to be cool. I wanted it to be a universal record. I think it all depends where you are in your life, you know, like when I did SNL, I'd never performed Stay With Me or Lay Me Down on television before in my entire life. The most people I'd ever performed to in my life was probably about 300 people. But SNL was 4 million viewers. So I will never get that moment back again because I've done that before. So I was very scared. SNL, the performance on SNL, completely changed my life in terms of America. You know, and actually, to be quite honest, the majority of the artists which I've witnessed in the UK and I thought they're going to be massive in America have ended up not being massive in America. So I had no idea. So that was the biggest surprise for me, was how welcoming you guys have been of my music.